Hello guys, and today as your Ukrainian source of information, your Ukrainian friend, I felt the need to clarify how do we feel about President Zelensky? Do we consider him a dictator? How did Ukrainian attitude towards him change during these 3 years of the full-scale invasion? Do we trust him? And of course, this is a reaction to a number of very negative, very emotional, aggressive comments coming from President Trump in the address of the Ukrainian president. Surprisingly, he decided to choose Zelensky as a bad guy, but not Putin, a bloodthirsty Kremlin dictator. But I will not keep this video very emotional, and I want to concentrate first on the attitudes inside the Ukrainian society and moreover recent polls that were also, by the way, inspired by Trump's speeches. Then perhaps we will try to analyze from the Ukrainian perspective what are the potential reasons for this Trump's attitude towards Zelensky. And finally, I will tell you a little bit more about other Ukrainian political leaders, potential oppositioners of Zelensky, and how do they feel about our president now and the potential elections. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia, that's the only way to achieve lasting peace, subscribe, we discuss all of that on the channel. And to make things more interesting, I will tell you that I did not vote for Zelensky in 2019. Those of you who follow the channel know I repeat this information, well, because I considered him inexperienced and my vote was for Petro Poroshenko. But since the start of the full-scale invasion, I fully support President Zelensky, and I have to confess he surprised me with his bravery and diplomatic creativity. So honestly, every time Trump attacks Zelensky, all people in Ukraine feel bad because we clearly understand it's not just about our president, but it is about our nation as a whole, and the problem is that we defend ourselves too good. And if we keep doing that, Russia can actually be defeated and collapse, and somehow people on this world still have very wrong assumptions that they need the Russian Federation in its present format to fight against China or something else. It is perhaps the greatest geopolitical mistake of the 21st century that America is about to commit, believing that they should sacrifice friendship with Europe and Ukraine for the sake of breaking the alliance between Russia and China. The latter is impossible. The first part of this assumption, unfortunately, is happening right now. So after a number of very aggressive comments where Trump calls Zelensky a comedian, a dictator, and actually repeats Russian propaganda messages that the rating of support is just 4%, and then Elon Musk keeps sharing that on X, Ukrainian polls decided to check that, and not just Ukrainian, European and American. And you know, a very funny thing happened, because even on X, where Musk kept sharing this information about 4% of support in Ukraine, people started reporting that as disinformation, and the system demonstrated that this is not true. And then Musk started saying, well, we have to change the system because it states that Zelensky has a higher rating, but in reality he does not. Why? So actually, according to the recent polls, because of Trump's comments, Zelensky added like more percent to his support, which was 57 somewhere in December 2024. After 3 years of very complex life in Ukraine, it was 57. And may I have your attention, please? It's approximately 10% higher than in the United States, just 1 month after the election of Donald Trump. So, inauguration of Donald Trump. Just think about that. After 3 years of very hard, exhausting, full-scale war with Russia, of course, there are a lot of problems inside society that go through such traumatic experience. The level of support of Zelensky was 57, and now it is 63. And all because of Donald Trump's comments. So definitely here inside Ukraine, you may not worry that these comments can separate us or quarrel us, because they do just the country. And many actually draw analogies between this February 2022 and another challenging February 2025. Subscribe to see the defeat of Russia and to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine. This is very, very important for us. What is more interesting, the level of support is 63 right now, but more than 75% consider Zelensky to be a great patriot. So it's interesting because it demonstrates the level of this global trust in decision making. Moreover, when making these polls, the researchers decided to ask, how do we feel a potential agreement or negotiations about war in Ukraine without Ukraine, just between United States and Russia. You know, I'm like a politically active citizen, so you clearly understand I did not like this idea. Nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. We've deserved this, you know. But I was once again very pleasantly surprised with Ukrainian society, 91%. This includes really different people. Not all of them are politically active. Some of them are very exhausted, and I'm sure there are a lot of them voting in the trenches. And this 91% of people say, we do not agree on any negotiations between US and Russia without Ukraine and Europe, because this is a global evil. So one of the main conclusions, I don't know why US administration fakes really low numbers of support of President Zelensky, and out of a true democratic leader and war hero, they want to make him someone bad and country, bloodthirsty war criminal that is responsible for so many tragedies on this planet. Putin is depicted as the world leader. I'm really happy that many, all sane people around the world understand it is very wrong. And actually, the support of President Trump can drop. It is already lower than Zelensky's. And I'm also pleasantly surprised that after his visit to Ukraine, General Kellogg named Zelensky, no, not a dictator, no, not a comedian, but a great leader of a strong democratic nation. I wonder, will this mark a shift in Trump's attitude, or will mean that Kellogg is fired? Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about that? And also, if you are interested, who is at the bottom of Ukrainian support among leaders? No, this is not Donald Trump, but Lukashenko, Putin, and Orban. And I personally believe that all freedom-loving people who still remember the taste of democracy should also feel the same. They should disrespect and not support Putin and Lukashenko. Not think how to appease them, compliment them, but actually think how to finish this type of carnivorous predators. You know, I knew it's a very complicated phrase even before I started saying it. So now let's try to analyze what is wrong with President Trump and his attitude towards Zelensky. Why is he saying that our democratically elected leader is a dictator and Putin is a good guy? By the way, let me know, would you like a separate video about elections in Ukraine? The only thing I can tell you that in times of the full-scale war, it is illegal and physically impossible to conduct elections. And yes, there were no elections during the Second World War in Britain, actually since 1935 to 1945. And it was because people were bombed, and many Ukrainian cities were bombed just today. But let me know, would you like a separate video, and would you like to know the opinion of Ukrainian people? Because the majority will not just say no, they will shout no, because this is money, and we need money, do you know what, to defend kindergartens and schools in Ukraine. But anyway, one of the reasons that is discussed globally, it is Trump's negative attitude towards Zelensky during his first term, because he was pushing in some Biden things. Actually, no one in Ukraine followed that attentively, so I cannot develop this deep context. But Zelensky was partially responsible for this potential impeachment to Trump during his first term. And sometimes I have this feeling that it is Zelensky's mission not just to take down Putin, but also, you can guess, maybe the second impeachment if Trump betrays democratic allies and start making friends with China and Russia. It may be just the logical end of his political career. But let's wait and see. Maybe some positive things will change. I'm always open. Another important thing, and I personally believe it is very likely, is that Rubio's negotiations in Saudi Arabia failed. And we obviously see that Trump is weak in his negotiation strategy with Putin, because even before any contact started, he promised to the Russian dictator everything that dictator wanted. And literally right now, he has no instruments to influence him and just keeps praising Russian collapsing economy or destroyed Russian army. Not noticing North Korean soldiers on the front lines. That is insane. I don't know, like this kind of PR to Russia is very unexpected to hear from the American sources. But anyway, so many say that Trump's strategy failed. He clearly realizes that there is no way he can change Putin's attitude, and to blame someone for this failure, because he cannot say, okay, my promise to end this war in 24 hours or even 24 months was a mistake. He's trying to find a person he can blame for that. And it seems like Zelensky is a candidate. But personally, I warn you, people of the United States, don't let this partnership between Trump and Putin finalize. Because right now, Putin wants to take people of America hostages for all of the future war crimes he for sure will commit against Ukraine. And with Trump's support, it will look like they are collaborators. It will not look like, it will be like that. Subscribe and share these videos to help fight Russian disinformation and Trump's disinformation. I'm sorry, but that's true. So now let's say a few words about the potential opponents of President Zelensky. Of course, many people think that Zelensky could become the future president of Ukraine. I think he's a great military man, but I don't see any political talents in him, honestly, even though he is at the top of the ratings. Then President Poroshenko, the former president of Ukraine, the one that was before Zelensky. And he is a supporter of NATO, EU integration, and Yulia Tymoshenko, who is a former prime minister, quite a famous lady. So these can be like 4 potential candidates on the elections of the president. You clearly understand that all of these people want to become the next president of Ukraine. Something happens to people and they may want to be a president. So all of these people who were Zelensky's political competitors, some of them were real rivals. All of these people, after Trump's comments, said it is impossible to conduct elections during war, full-scale war in Ukraine, and we support Zelensky, who is a legitimate president according to the constitution of Ukraine, and he remains at power because of war. And nobody wants like 20% of your country occupied. All of your male population is on the front lines. Millions of Ukrainians are refugees abroad. And most importantly, Russia, together with Elon Musk, will do everything to put a puppet president that will sign whatever Trump and Putin tell them. Don't you think people in Ukraine that survived the 3 years of full-scale war understand that? I guarantee you we do. And most importantly, Ukraine is not a country that nurtures dictators. It's Russia and Belarus. In Ukraine, we often practice revolutions if we don't like something or if we believe that a growing dictator is in Kyiv. That happened when Yanukovych implanted from the Kremlin tried to grasp all the power and make some changes, which actually similar things happen now in Washington. So we reacted. And if Zelensky will start acting in a wrong way, trust me, Ukrainians will stop him. We did it not once, actually twice in our modern history. But right now, we are super united around the figure of our president. And I actually put on my sweatshirt, which is the same the Zelensky wore at the very start of war. Because it was produced in my hometown and everybody wanted to have it. So right now, we feel super united. Every negative comment towards our president is felt like negative comments toward our country. I hope someone will explain to President Trump it's wrong, and this is the only way to lose his support and to strengthen Zelensky's. Please share this video. Please support the campaign for Ukraine aid operation. We have just 2,000 left, and you will make me super happy. And most importantly, we will back up Ukrainian armed forces. And that is the fastest and most effective way to victory. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. Subscribe to my Instagram, X, Threads, Discord, and Blue Sky. And check our merch shop for lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And thank you so much for all the kindness and all these virtual hugs that I get through your comments on the channel. You know, I love you, and I know that we are united, we are strong, and these are temporary hardships. But freedom, democracy, justice is eternal. Slava Ukraini!